Ethan Carrington never imagined a Monday morning could unravel his entire life. Alone in the quiet corner of a sunlit hotel lobby, he sipped his coffee, scrolling through emails he didn't want to read. Then, three small figures appeared, blonde, bright-eyed girls clutching a tiny locket he hadn't seen in nearly 7 years. His breath caught. That locket was hers, Amelia's, the woman who had vanished from his world without a word. And now, in an instant, the universe seemed to laugh at him, reminding him that the past never truly stays buried. Some mistakes demand a second chance. Ethan's hand froze over the coffee cup, the steam curling up like smoke over old memories. The girls stood silently, almost like they had rehearsed this moment in some parallel universe he didn't know existed. The smallest of them, with braids bouncing against her shoulders, lifted the silver heart locket. "Is this yours?" she asked softly. Her voice trembled between curiosity and certainty. It was his. 7 years ago, he had placed that locket around Amelia's neck, whispering promises he thought they'd have forever. She had smiled, a slow, quiet kind of smile. That reached her eyes. And then she was gone, disappeared without a trace, leaving behind nothing but questions and a grief that had burrowed deep into him. Ethan stared, his chest tight, heart hammering in disbelief. He had never allowed himself to imagine a scenario like these three little girls, all unmistakably connected to Amelia. Blonde hair, bright eyes, a resemblance that twisted his stomach in ways he couldn't name. Who are you?" he asked, voice lower than he meant. "We're her daughters," said the girl holding the locket. "Mom says you're important." Important. The word struck him harder than any punch. Amelia's daughters. His daughters. Life had moved on without him, built on choices he hadn't been part of. And yet, here they were, living, breathing proof that time hadn't erased everything. The lobby's noise faded. Other guests moved like shadows in the background. Ethan barely noticed. The girl's mother, Amelia, appeared at the check-in desk, her hair longer, darker, tied loosely at the back, and her expression cautious. She saw Ethan. Her eyes widened. But she didn't flee. For a moment, neither moved. Time itself seemed to hold its breath. Ethan took the first step toward her. Slow, measured, as if fear and hope were tied to every footfall. "Amelia," he said, letting her name tumble out, heavy with longing and years of absence. She didn't answer immediately, just stared, her mouth slightly parted, as if she had been rehearsing 1,000 replies and none were adequate. Finally, she whispered, "Ethan, I didn't know how you'd react. You vanished," he said quietly, the words brittle but steady. "You left without a word, and now, these girls. They're mine, aren't they?" Her nod was slow, deliberate. Yes, the truth hit harder than any anger could. Grief, awe, and guilt collided inside him, and for the first time in years, Ethan felt completely unmoored. He wanted to shout, to demand explanations, to reclaim what had been stolen. But instead, he simply stood. Letting the weight of this reality settle over him, Amelia guided the girls back toward a small seating area. "Go on," she said softly. "I'll catch up." The girls hesitated, glancing at Ethan with a mixture of curiosity and instinctual trust, before slowly settling into chairs, the locket held between them like a bridge. Ethan crouched to their daintied. And we all know I've been exploring that path. The girls hesitated, glancing at Leon, glancing at Etha with a lister enesis. And it was to get elected confused Sunday comely at, quote, "be Beely abibing." By Nala while we Steve with Cals.ygay.coreg. FAWASIS. Go on with less to me with Kanake with sick KY sick K we can like who we to get kite by sig with you I do with the do we to see you with you to say you could you could I given with you with to act to cook you I did you I could why level, feeling the air shift as if the room itself recognized the gravity of this encounter. "Hi," he said, voice gentler than he expected. "I'm Ethan. I think I'm supposed to be part of your lives now?" One girl tilted her head, squinting as if calculating the truth. "He says you're someone special," she said. Ethan let out a breathless laugh. The sound strange after so long alone. "I hope so," he replied. "I'll try." Days passed like a blur. Ethan's corporate world, with its rigid schedules and endless negotiations, became irrelevant the moment he was with them. He learned their routines, breakfast preferences, bedtime rituals, and the small quirks that made each girl distinct. Ava was bold, fearless in her laughter. June was contemplative, asking endless questions. Lily, the youngest, had the quietest curiosity. Watching Ethan with eyes that mirrored Amelia's, Amelia watched him from a distance, skeptical at first. Could the man who had once abandoned everything really be trusted now? Ethan didn't make grand declarations. He didn't claim authority or demand space in their lives. He simply showed up, consistently, gently, proving through actions rather than words that he wanted to belong. One rainy afternoon, Amelia and Ethan found themselves alone in the living room while the girls napped. The soft rumble of thunder outside mirrored the tension in the room. Ethan washed dishes, careful but unhurried, while Amelia prepared tea. "I kept expecting you to disappear," she said softly, voice carrying years of fear and restraint. "I'm not going anywhere," Ethan replied without hesitation. "I'm here and I'll stay." Silence followed, heavy but not oppressive. Finally, she looked at him, tears glistening in her eyes. I don't know how to do this, how to trust again." "You don't have to," he said quietly. "Not all at once. I'll earn it, step by step. I want to be part of their lives, but I won't rush you. I'll show you through everything I do." That evening, when the girls woke from their nap, they found Ethan kneeling on the floor, helping build a castle from blocks. They didn't hesitate. Ava climbed onto his back. June tugged at his sleeve and Lily held out a crayon, expecting him to color. For the first time, he realized that parenthood wasn't about authority. What was about presence. And in that presence, he found a humility he had never known in his structured, calculated life. Weeks turned into months. Mornings were for pancakes shaped like sea creatures. Afternoons for playgrounds and art projects. Evenings for bedtime stories and whispered goodnights. Ethan discovered joy in the mundane, marveling at the small, ordinary miracles of childhood. Spilled cereal, giggles in the bathtub, the soft warmth of a tiny hand reaching for his. Amelia observed, slowly letting go of her doubts. Ethan's patience was different from charm. It wasn't flashy or performative. It was quiet, deliberate, unwavering. And it mattered more than words ever could. One Saturday, they went to the spring fair. The girls ran ahead, giggling, sticky from cotton candy and ice cream. Ethan trailed behind, laughing as he lost every carnival game on purpose, letting the girls celebrate victories. Amelia followed, camera in hand, capturing the moment. For a few hours, the past didn't exist. There were no lost years, no regrets, only the present, full and radiant. Night fell, and the family returned to their small apartment, tired but exhilarated. Ethan and Amelia stood on the balcony overlooking the quiet city streets. "They had fun," she said softly. "So did I," he replied. The wind carried the faint scent of rain and blooming flowers. "I never knew this was missing," he added, voice low. "You were running from things you couldn't control," Amelia said. "I didn't fit your world, but now," her gaze softened, "now you're choosing to be here. That's all that matters." Ethan reached into his pocket, producing a silver heart locket, perfectly matching the one Amelia had kept all these years. "I've had this for you," he said. "I waited for the right moment, and now I know there's never a better time than this one." She took it, fingers brushing his. "It still matters," she whispered. You still matter. And in that quiet exchange, words became unnecessary. The weight of the past, the fear, the loss, the years apart didn't vanish, but it transformed into something new, hope. Not grand or dramatic, but real, tender and earned. Summer arrived, soft and golden. The girls ran barefoot in the yard, their laughter weaving through the air like music. Ethan learned to chase, to play, to kneel and tie shoelaces, to listen when a question required patience rather than a quick answer. Amelia noticed the change in him. The man who had once been distant and calculating now became a father in presence, care, and quiet love. One evening, after the girls were asleep, they sat on the porch, watching the moonlight ripple across the water. Ethan turned to Amelia. "I don't know how to fix the years we lost," he said softly, "but I want to build what's next together." She nodded, fingers entwining with his. "We'll figure it out, step by step. Together." The girls stirred in their sleep, a quiet reminder of the tiny hearts that had bridged a chasm between two lives. And in the warmth of that night, Ethan realized that family was never about perfect timing. It was about showing up, being present, and loving fiercely. Even after years of absence, by the end of the summer, their life wasn't flawless. But it was theirs, stitched together with laughter, patience, and small acts of care. Ethan knew he had found not just his daughters, but a home, and Amelia, no longer afraid, realized that sometimes love returns in ways stronger than it had ever been before. And in the soft glow of twilight, as the girls slept with dreams full of castles, tiaras, and laughter, Ethan and Amelia stood side by side, quiet, steady, and ready to face everything that came next together. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and share it with someone who needs a little hope today. Subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss a story that heals, inspires, and moves the soul.